Hey, it's Dorleen, and today I'm playing with some of my, I'm going to call it junk paper. And the reason why I say that is a lot of the stuff is just random pieces of paper that I either inked on, stamped on, dripped on, whatever you want to call it. And I just keep them in, lots of different containers. These particular ones were found in a cosmetic bag that I keep a lot of just torn scraps, smaller scraps. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I did pull out originally some colors I thought I'd work with, or some papers I thought I'd work with. Now I'm going through my little container and pulling out more. I like to keep things like a little good variety, like one book page or something with letters or script, which is why I looked at that wrapping paper. That was wrapping paper that has that old-fashioned script. But I decided I didn't want to use it because it was such a yellowed background, and I was using this watercolor paper that I obviously was just testing, either a black spray and looks like some blue watercolor paint. So I decided to use that as a background instead of just a plain white cardstock, which I had originally pulled out to use. Now those blue circles were part of a cutout from something I made with my Cricut, and I just kept them because I thought, oh, I could probably use those for one of these kind of collage junk, funky, I don't even know, mixed media, what you want to call these cards, but definitely collage. And this stencil, I had made something with my Cricut that was obviously with leaves, and I do this a lot, and I'll keep these papers and use them as stencils for this type of products and mixed media products, or projects, sorry. So I just grabbed some blue acrylic paint to add some blue on to the base, and I decided to use blue because that seemed to be the kind of consistent color through everything I was grabbing. But any color would have worked. And in a little bit you'll see me pull out some yellow spray, and I did use some pink paint, but I don't think I showed it. So I'm looking right now for like a focal image, and I thought I was going to use that one little half circle kind of ring thing, but I didn't like the way it just kind of disappeared on the background. So I pulled this floral piece, and that was just a torn corner from something else that I created. And I like that because there was a lot of pink, and it did coordinate with the pink on that book page that I already placed on there. So I'm just gluing that over to the top corner. I think it really pops, and I really like the way that looked. And then I decided to glue down those circles on top of that. So you'll see me doing that right now. So these are really fun cards. I like them because they seemed very random, but to keep it from being too random, I try to coordinate colors. So like I had mentioned earlier, that those pinks in that flower that in that corner did match like some pinks in that book page that was already there. The blue is kind of like the overall theme. So it just did coordinate, even though they seem like totally random pieces. And I think that's key to not making it too messy and just too much. I did decide to put some white marks in all those blue little circles, and I don't show you do all of them. I don't show that I'm doing all of them, but you can get the idea by me going through them, and I'm finishing them. So now I realize I want to put something in that center section, and I do decide I want to sew around the edge. I don't always sew with my paper. Matter of fact, I rarely sew, but for some reason I thought it just needed it. But before I took it over to my sewing machine, I did add some yellow. I do love adding yellow to most of my mixed media type of things. I just think yellow really pops, and I love yellow, so it all works. And if you notice, there was a lot of yellow in that pink corner. So again, it still coordinates. It's not too crazy. So I did take that to my sewing machine. I just did a really simple straight stitch around the edge. I stamped a sentiment, and I'm just cutting it down, and I do end up matting it with black cardstock because it just kind of disappeared on that really bright, fun, colorful background. So I just grabbed a scrap of black and just did a really thin mat around it. And then I'm going to put some foam adhesive on the back. But before I actually do that, I decide to adhere the card, the fun stuff, the card front to the card base. I did use some tear tape because this is a a really strong adhesive, and I thought that's really what this needed because of all the layers. Even though it wasn't too thick, I think it was thick in general just because I used that watercolor paper, but it worked out fine. Then I wasn't sure where I was going to put this sentiment. I just kind of decided I was going to put it in that center and that lower third of the page. I think it looks really cute. And smile big, laugh often. That could really just be any kind of card. Birthday, just a little inspirational card, a pick-me-up card, or just a little friendship card, note card. But I hope you like that. And if you do, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I do post 2 videos a week, and I hope I see you next time. Bye.